Stadiums are like cornflakes. No two are exactly alike. Except unlike cornflakes, stadiums actually stay crunchy in milk. But some stadiums are even more not alike than others. Here are 10 unique stadiums from around the world. Paris La Défense Arena is a multi-purpose dome stadium that is used mainly for rugby. But due to a movable stand, it can also be used for tennis and basketball, as well as concerts. And judging by that giant video screen, it's also the world's largest movie theatre. The original plan included a retractable roof, but I don't mind a fixed roof in this instance. Dynamo Central Stadium / VTB Arena. This Russian stadium was sadly born with a conjoined twin that didn't fully develop into a fully grown stadium and will remain stuck as an ice hockey arena for life. Without your support, little Dynamo won't make it to the age of 5. Please donate now. In a serendipitous turn of events, Russians happen to like ice hockey, so it all worked out for the best. Estadio Ciudad de la Plata goes by the nickname Estadio Único, meaning unique stadium, so it kinda had to be in this video. It's as much a music venue as it is a football stadium. The pitch can be completely disassembled for other events, mostly concerts. The odd shape of the stadium apparently resembles the relationship between the two clubs which share the field. Okay, you could have just put up a plaque or something, but you do you. Pancho Arena is like something out of a fairy tale. No, it's not made of gingerbread, but it just looks unreal. With its ornate wooden-lined roof and its overall quirky design, it's a very beautiful stadium. Unfortunately, it's probably the result of government corruption. I won't go into it, but the Hungarian Prime Minister, who is a huge football fan, just happened to spend a lot of time in this village as a child, and owns an estate a stone's throw from the stadium. Anyway, I said I wouldn't go into it. I'm just never really been a huge corruption fan, to be honest. But nice stadium though. Estadio Akron is a stadium that mimics the very natural disaster that has been the plight of the Mexican people since the dawn of time, the volcano. Except this one erupts in a much more harmless way, with cheering instead of molten rock and ash. The roof is supposed to resemble a cloud that might sit at the top of the volcano, which is clever. But I don't know about designing a stadium to resemble a deadly natural disaster. That's like if in California, or indeed Australia, they built a new stadium to look like a huge fire. Actually, you know what? That could actually work. I'm looking at you, Chicago Fire of the MLS. Make it happen. Speaking of the MLS, San Jose failed miserably in their attempt to recreate an earthquake. I mean, maybe if you squint. No, that doesn't look anything like an earthquake. Although, would you even want a stadium that looks like an earthquake? Harvard Stadium. Now, when I say this stadium is unique, I mean in terms of modern stadiums, because of course we have seen this design before. I'm quite surprised that Herodotus Atticus, if that's how you say it, isn't suing Harvard, to be honest. Although the patent for this design may have expired 1500 or so years ago. And he dared. To give it an even more classic look, it was covered in ivy up until 2006. I don't know why they got rid of that, it looks pretty cool. Maybe they thought it was pretentious, which goes completely against what Harvard is all about. Stockholm Olympia Stadium. This stadium is one of the smallest Olympic stadiums that there's been. But that's not what makes it unique. It just looks like a castle, so I thought I'd include it. Also, just a little tidbit, it actually hosted the equestrian event for the 1956 Melbourne Olympics, due to Australia's strict quarantine laws. So Sweden's Henry St. Cyr won a gold medal at the Melbourne Olympics without having to leave his home city of Stockholm. Stadion Voždovac. If you're not familiar with this Serbian stadium, you might be thinking, ooh, that stadium looks like it's raised off the ground. What have they got under there? Parking? A dungeon? Nope. It's just a shopping centre. Just a regular shopping centre that just happens to have a stadium on the roof. If you stand on the field, it doesn't look too different to a regular stadium, but you can kind of tell that something's not quite right. It looks a bit odd. Estadio Municipal de Braga. This highly praised stadium was built on the site of an old quarry that was carved into the side of the mountain. The quarry wasn't perfectly stadium sized though, so they still had to move a lot of rock to build it. The roof canopies are connected by dozens of steel strings that were inspired by Incan bridges. What I like about this stadium is not only do you get that rocky cliff face to look at, but the view on the other side isn't too bad either. And finally, the float at Marina Bay. When people suggested I include this stadium, at first I couldn't understand what was so unique about it. Do they use a special type of grass or something? Then finally, after a couple of minutes, it hit me. I felt so stupid that I didn't notice. It is, of course, because there is seating on only one side of the field. I mean, I think I've seen that at a lot of stadiums, to be honest, but yeah, whatever. I guess that's fairly unique. I'm not sure why that's the case, but there you go. Hang on a second. The float. That's water? I thought that was just oddly coloured ground. Okay, that makes sense. Yes, that's pretty unique. And that's it for today's video. If we left out any stadiums that you think should have been included, please let me know in the comments and maybe I'll make a part 2. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.